What's up, everybody? J Heat Sports Media coming at y'all again with that fire as always. Spitting the hot topics and getting the sports conversation started. Y'all know what I'm talking about: football, basketball, and boxing. Let's get into it. So, we got to get into some boxing real quick. Errol the Truth Spence and Terence Bud Crawford. Now, everybody saw the fight that was supposed to be the fight of the century, most anticipated fight in several years, against two fighters who were both considered two of the top three fighters in the world. Most people's opinion. That's just how it was. The fight didn't look that way when it happened. Terence Crawford, who was most people's number one fighter in the world, beat Errol Spence to the point where it looked like Errol wasn't a top five fighter. That's just what it was. Now, in my opinion, I think Bud had a lot of respect for Spence. He rose to the occasion, took that fight super seriously. Not to say Spence didn't, but Bud came in focus. When he came out to that Eminem track, I knew it was going to be a problem. And I'm an Errol Spence fan, but I was still rooting for Errol. And it was a complete domination by Bud Crawford. No question about it. He beat that man like he stole something. But Errol was a soldier, to give him credit. Some guys would have quit. Errol went out on his shield. He got up every time he was knocked down. Didn't want the fight to end. Kept trying to bang. He just didn't have it. Didn't look as strong. We already knew he wasn't as good of a boxer overall. Like, Terence seemed like the more slick boxer. Errol was technically sound, supposed to be stronger, a little more physical. But once that wasn't the case, Bud looked like he had more power and was stronger in situations where he needed to be, and then he outboxed him. It's just, that's what happened. That said, I still got love for Errol. If you saw my top fighters in the world, I had Errol ranked at number 11. I can't drop him no lower than that until I see him fight again, see where his head is, if he recovers from this. But now Errol is out on social media and he's doing a little bit of talking that I don't necessarily particularly know how I feel about it. Or I know how I feel about it. I don't quite like it. Love Errol still, but I'm a little concerned. He just got surgery on his eye. Said he got cataracts. That's fine. Leave it at that. But then he was putting out stuff saying, why you think I was getting hit so much? Basically alluding to he lost the fight due to the eye. Don't do that. I don't like that. That don't come off right to me, especially from a guy that's like Errol, that's a soldier, has always been one in the ring, stood on what he says. Like I said, I still got respect for Errol, but this little bit of an excuse here makes me question how confident he is going into this next fight. I know he's training. I know his mind is probably telling him, I got to get this back. And he should feel that way, and I respect that. He ain't ducking it like Canelo Alvarez. He ain't really want to see Bivol again. He talked that, but he ain't really want to see Bivol again. And he ain't lose like Errol lost to Bud, to Bivol. Errol won it back. But in the back of his mind, when I start seeing these excuses, I'm just like, I don't know. It makes me worry about the fight. And I want to see a good fight. It's already a fight that a lot of people aren't high on because they think it's going to be worse the next time, which is usually what happens. Bud is already training and focused. Neither one of these guys have fought since the summer. And now Errol having this surgery, he's not going to be available for a little while. According to Blue Blood Sports, shout out to Blue Blood, he was saying he heard that the recovery is about 8 weeks. I haven't done any research on that. I don't know if that's the case or not, but if that is the case, if I was Errol, I'd take longer than that. Let's say 10 weeks. Don't even mess with anything between now, all of February, all of March. Start training in April. And then I would train for a good 3 months before I get back in the ring. I personally think now, after hearing what Errol is saying, these excuses he's making, that he needs to refocus and take a different fight. And maybe this will void the contract and Bud doesn't have to fight him in the rematch. But I think Bud's the type of guy, he gonna let him get his get back, because Errol gave him a big opportunity financially in the way that fight worked out, made sure it happened. And Bud got confidence he can do it again, even if it's at 155. So what I think, let me know what y'all think. Bud, go ahead, 155. I know he wants to fight Canelo. That fight probably ain't gonna happen no time soon, because we need to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. Period. That needs to happen. So Bud fight Tim Tszyu at 155, since he's got a belt. Go get a belt. The reason you do that instead of going right for Charlo, who he wanted, is because that fight's lost a little bit of attention after Charlo lost to Canelo. Let Charlo defend his mandatory. Credit to Blue Blood. He mentioned this too as well. That's a good strategy. Let Charlo take his mandatory so he don't lose the WBA or the WBC. I think those are the two titles he has, or maybe it's the WBO. Go after Tim Tszyu for Crawford. They both take a fight first half of this year. Then they fight each other for a unification. Meanwhile, Errol get himself together, come back in the summer, fight for the IBF belt, which I believe is available. And even if it's not, just fight a challenger at 155, get your feet wet again. Take that fight, take another fight at the end of this year in 2024, all in at 155, get used to that weight, get yourself back together, fully ready to rock and roll. By that time, Bud would have cleaned up that division, because I got him beating Tszyu, beating Charlo. Charlo gets a chance to get his warm-up in before he goes at Bud. They have a big fight, unification. There you have it. Then 2025, Bud and Spence can meet for undisputed at 155. Errol gets a chance to get his get back at a weight he's more comfortable at. Regardless of what happens from there, whoever gets a chance, maybe Canelo's ready then for a Bud fight or a Spence fight, because that was talked about in the past after Bud and Spence have their rematch. But let Canelo focus on David Benavidez this year, and then he'll be ready. And that gives Bud time, fight at 155, maybe take a fight at 160 before you just jump right up to 168 and go at Canelo. That might not be wise either, even though I do think Bud's the better boxer. Bud could beat him. I'd pick Bud. But I'm not going to be like, whoa, if he loses to Canelo, where did that come from? Because Canelo, he might actually be a little big for Bud. He going to have to box that dude. He got a chin. Bud got a hand, though, a heavy hand. But I ain't seen Canelo put to the floor yet by even bigger dudes. So I don't know. And it ain't all about size. It's where you hit it. It's the unexpected hit. I get it. The hit you don't see coming. Crawford may could hurt Canelo. But that's a story for another day. As far as Spence is concerned, I don't like these excuses. I don't know about y'all. Y'all let me know. And it's making me think he's not quite ready for Crawford yet in a rematch. Take a couple tune-ups, Earl. Just my personal opinion. You're going to do what you want to do. All right, that's all the time I got. Y'all know what it is, and you know who you looking for. J-Heat Sports Media. Remember to like, subscribe, or get at me in the comments. Let's go back and forth. I appreciate the support from everybody that's supporting currently, and anybody that joins after this video, I appreciate you as well. Let's get it up to 500 subscribers and beyond. Also, y'all know where to find me. YouTube, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Also, if you got Facebook, Join my group, J Heat Sports Media. Holla at you.